Hello, everyone. How are you? I just wanted to check in. I know I have not been able to do the regular live streams. We had to cancel, I think it was Thursdays. So I just wanted to come on and say hi, check in, and see how you were doing. Dawn's going to say hi too. But we just wanted to come on and see how you were doing and check in and see how your plant-based journey, your vegan journey was coming along. I did a live on Facebook last night that talked about the top four foods that lower your blood pressure, or at least my top four foods that I enjoy that can lower blood pressure. And I also added a couple of extra little bonus ones in there. So if you want to that out, I would love for you to join my Facebook group. I will link it in the comments and in the description. It is Vegan Knowledge on Facebook. And then we also have a free Amazing Transformers Club, which I sent out the information about the blood pressure, and I send out informative posts. I have a recipe that I've been having, or a new meal plan that I've been having, and it's really good. And I can't wait to share that with everyone. I'm going to try to get that out this evening. And what else is going on? I remember talking to you guys about, like, just taking everything in, learning from your journey and learning from your mistakes, kind of, as they say. And that's where the lowering blood pressure foods came from. Actually, it was, I guess, in the middle of July, because it was around Dawn's birthday was on the 19th, so that was already in full force then. But like earlier in the month, I had gotten like a toothache, and it just, I don't know why, but like in that moment, it was like I knew that if you want to heal, you need to, go on the juices and, or the smoothies, and you could heal yourself in a couple of days with grapes, blueberries, things like that. Unfortunately, I made a bad decision and decided, you know what, I'm going to go with some vegan comfort foods. It was like, it was it was Saturday when it happened. And then Saturday night couldn't eat. And Sunday I was like, okay, Dawn was getting ready to order some stuff out. And I was like, okay, just let's do some mashed potatoes, right? With almond milk. They're still vegan. And I ate that. And then I ate like peanut butter and jelly. And I just kind of, it's interesting how you can be on an ultra healthy vibe, and if you allow something to turn it around, you can go to an unhealthy food. And I started, eating processed foods with lots of salt, and just the sweets and things like that, all vegan, of course. And then I realized about and then Dawn's birthday came, so even though my tooth was feeling better, I just ate some fries, and just, I forget what else we even had. We were just choosing like meals we had chosen when we were plant based and not raw. So, um, or at least whole food plant based, we'll say. So what ended up happening, and Dawn can tell you, I was like for a second looking a little worried because I'm sitting at my desk, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, my feet are like swelling, like not a happy camper. And I sort of felt like a slight headache. My motivation was low. Like I wasn't performing at work the same, like at the same, like getting things done as quickly or being able to help multiple people at once. I was just kind of like, my creativity was down. I was barely making videos. I was putting out posts, but I was posting about the food that we were eating. And like just everything, like, and then like even my knees started to feel achy, and like I just felt heavier all of a sudden. Like after 2 weeks, my body was telling me, get yourself together. And I even, every time I did this over this last 5 years, I went off the raw or the whole food plant based, I've always had something like this happen, some type of health condition. And it reminded me that I'm getting close to 50 years old. So things that I might have been able to do like early in my vegan, like maybe like 6 months in, I remember getting, trying some processed foods, and it didn't quite affect me like that. Although over time, I've always noticed something going on, when I would eat a lot of sodium and, just start salting my food without like, and as you start to eat that stuff, you realize that your body, your microbiome starts craving more of it. And it's really difficult to get back. Just like it takes a minute to get back on track. And you guys know around the holidays, I had, went off path a little bit during the holidays and had some like vegan cookies. And I had, just like some, I forget what we even were cooking at that time, but we had some, or it was like Thanksgiving, we made like, the mashed potatoes and the, turkey that was not turkey, tofurkey, and things like that. So anyway, um, bringing me back to the point, I felt like if I were someone who may not have the knowledge and the holistic health that I have, I would have like saw these things happening and think, "Oh my goodness, like I know that probably my blood pressure is elevated. I need to go to the doctor." And I would have been on like 1 to 4 kinds of medications that might have been like they might have prescribed, like, you have high blood pressure. Well, I had high blood pressure because of what I was eating, and I realized this, and I was able to shift that. And it's not like I don't like what I eat. I love what I eat. I love my meal plan. You guys see how excited I am about it. But that little shift, those couple of days, put me on a different path, and it led to health conditions. And everyone in the world has these health conditions. Not everyone, but there's a high percentage of people on medications. And it's so important, I feel like, to express this. Of course, I could not talk about it, but I want to talk about it to share with people the message that within 2 days of going back to eating fruits during the day, I had actually changed to smoothies because I still wanted to make sure that I was just readjusting my digestion and also making sure I didn't reactivate anything with my tooth, because I was still, even during the process phase, eating a bit softer foods. And so I ended up going on the fruits and smoothies during the day like normal. And then at night, actually did like a steamed veggie mix, just to kind of still keep it like soft but get a lot of nutrients in, just to kind of get me back into it. So I did like a lot of steamed like tomatoes, I did mushrooms, and what else was in that, man, I always post it, but it has like carrots, like a ton of different, fruits and fruit veggies. And also like on the side, I did like some avocado and lettuce, like my normal salad, and ginger. And what I did was I started incorporating, definitely went back because I know about blood pressure. I did my 3 bananas every day and I started taking the daily green boost again because I had stopped taking that just because it didn't like fit in with the bad food. Hey Vaughn, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. So I took the 3 bananas, right? And definitely had those every day because bananas are one of the top 4 foods I talk about that lowers blood pressure because of how much potassium it has in it. It has, and potassium and sodium have to have a balance in your body. So if you're having way too much sodium and you're not getting enough potassium, which a lot of people don't, like a lot of people like have, I was saying this in my live last night, that they might have the whole recommended daily salt intake sometimes by 11 a.m. If you think about it, if you go and people in the standard American diet or even the vegan diet, if they're eating unhealthy, they might have like some, a vegan breakfast sandwich, or even a regular, people who are still eating standard American might have a breakfast sandwich, bacon, eggs, or whatever. And that salt is already through the roof, but we're not balancing it out with any potassium. So we're going way the other way. Our balance is way off. So when I started eating the bananas again, and then also in the mix of the meal I was making at night, I was putting in a lot of ginger. And I also was having ginger and lemon water. ginger naturally lowers blood pressure, like almost so to the point that if you are on blood pressure medication, you want to like limit the amount of ginger at least initially until you start when you're naturally lowering it, because your medication and the ginger, it's like those natural foods, those natural medicine foods are like, you know just really like to me are like amazing, because you don't have to like take medicine every day for something that you can cure in like 2 days. And I'll tell you the rest of the stuff here. I want to see what Vaughn was saying here. Let me raise this up. Let's see. What would be your choice of drink? Just water? Do you drink cranberry apple juice? So like for me, I just drink water, or I'll have lemon and ginger water. But like if you want something like with taste to it, like you could do like infused water. Some people do that, like, but I find if the lemon and ginger, if you let it sit in there a while, it literally like starts to taste like lemonade, like after you get way off sugary sodas. Obviously if you're coming off of having like regular soda, it's not going to taste as sweet, but eventually it does. And like also you could have like smoothies, like when you put like fruit is very hydrating, so you barely like need any water when people are eating a lot of fruit. It's like, especially watermelon is like 93%, I think, or even higher, maybe water. So you can eat a lot of fruit, or you can do like a watermelon smoothie in the summertime and like chill it a little bit. You can just like take fruits and like add water and just mix it up a little bit. If you want to do something healthy, you can juice things too, like apple juice. You can even get a juicer if you want that, but I wouldn't recommend, like, I didn't notice this until like after I started reading labels, but like if you buy like fruit juice or some of those like juicy juice or like apple juice at the store, it's like apples are sweet enough. Some of them have like 46 grams of added sugar. And it's like when I make these smoothies, like this one I've been making at night, not necessarily for like a drink to quench thirst, but it's like a dessert. I've been putting like 6 walnuts, like if you have the whole ones. Whoops, my light just went crazy. Started flickering. Like, okay, what's going on? It doesn't like walnuts. But if I put like 6 whole walnuts, or if you're doing chopped, you can do, I guess it would be like a quarter cup or whatever. And then I put like 3 bananas, a little bit of almond milk. You can use like whatever kind you want. Like vanilla almond milk is good. They have like organic kinds, or they have like the regular like processed ones, and like silk or almond breeze. But I get this one that just has like um because I don't know what gellan gum is. I forgot, I looked it up, but a lot of the plant-based milks have that in it, and a lot of products. Xanthan gum is in dressings, and some of this stuff, it says generally safe in moderation for humans, and I'm like, well, that's not good enough for me generally. But every now and then, if I have that, it's not a big deal. Like if that's all they have at the store, and sometimes I'll go to 2 stores like I did today, and they don't have this organic. So I'm like, well, I still want to have the smoothie. It's still healthier than the alternative, buying ice cream or something, right? So I got that, and then I added some cinnamon, and what else? And a little bit of flax seeds you could use, or flaxseed meal. And when you mix this up, especially like some people like to use frozen bananas. I don't really like drinks that cold, but sometimes it's nice to put it in the freezer, especially if it's for kids or something like that too. That'll just taste like just like ice cream. Just that mix. It's so sweet. You could even add dates or raisins in it. But yeah, you can drink like any kind of juice. I would just make sure it's organic. And one thing about juice though is it tends to spike your sugar because it doesn't have the fiber in it. So like usually if I do make a juice, I'm going to put like some type of greens in it, like spinach, cuz believe it or not, you can't taste the spinach when you put it in with like juice or even smoothies. And it's a good way to get extra greens in, especially like for kids if they don't want to eat their, lettuce and their spinach and things like that, to help get some minerals in. You can throw it in there. And people just love juicing. I tend to like smoothies with like a little bit of texture to them, but I would just definitely like not get the store-bought juices, or at least look on the back of it and make sure it doesn't say added sugar, because like sugar I think is one of the things that was getting to me. But yeah, so bananas, ginger, um if you have high blood pressure you want to eat those. And then also the third one, like water. Speaking of that, water was like big on that. I started drinking a lot of water because usually when I'm eating fruit all day, I'm getting a lot of hydration. But when I'm like eating unhealthy, you're getting a lot of salt, and I wasn't getting as much hydration or as much, even drinking as much water, because I have a little routine when I'm eating healthy. Like when you're on certain kicks where you're exercising or you're eating a certain way. Like when I'm eating healthy, I automatically think more about my health and think, oh, I have to drink. I drink like a full 16 ounces of water in the morning to kind of get the digestion going. But I wasn't doing that because I was waking up, and I was also like, in that mode. Once you start down that path, it's like things were like not, progressing, and I could feel myself gaining weight. So it was cool to get back on track. I was like able to drink a lot of water, eat a lot of fruit, and doing these like fruit and spinach type smoothies, where you can use kale if you want, but I just had spinach in the house. And like then I did a lot of bananas, and then I started putting ginger not only in the like lemon and ginger water. If you have fresh ginger, that's so good. Or you can just take the skin off and slice it up and put it in with your water and lemon. And Dawn like lets her sit for like 2 hours. Mine, usually I just I get impatient with it, so I'll just put it in a bottle and shake it up and start drinking it. But what was I gonna say? Oh, and then also I know this one, I forgot mine. Did I do four things yet? Avocados. That's what it was. Yeah, I started eating a lot of avocados because normally I eat those, but they have a high content of potassium. And then I was talking about like cherries lower blood pressure, cinnamon lowers blood pressure, which I was adding in the smoothie. So like doing all this, and then this meal that I was making was so good. And I'll tell you guys why I started eating the flax seeds and the nuts too, because it was kind of a weird scenario. Even though it was like I was eating unhealthy, there was some part of me that actually felt better mentally eating more nuts and seeds, like a grounded thing, like less like anxiety or like, I don't know, like OCD type things. Like, here comes the walnut police. I don't know, whatever I was talking about. There's a lot of sirens around here, like this time of year, because it's like a resort area. Lots going on. Prayers to anybody who's in this situation that's causing that. Those sirens that come by made me lose my track of thought, right? Um, what was I talking about? Sorry. Oh, I know what, I read it right. See, I get it. Mine autocorrects some crazy things sometimes. Like I forget what I posted, but you know how like one letter can make such a difference? Like I was like I started eating fruit and it came up like I stopped eating fruit or something one time. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm glad I saw that and edited it." Like, what kind of nutrition coach am I? I stopped eating fruit. Oh, that would have been crazy. Um, but now, what was I gonna say? Oh, anyway, so all that stuff with the potassium, cherries, I think, and cinnamon I talked about can lower blood pressure. But really, what the point of it was, it's not really the foods. It is, but it's not. It was my body trying to heal itself. Like our body is always trying to get back in a state of like homeostasis. It's trying to keep you alive, and it's trying to keep things normal. It's like if you work at a job, I always picture it like there's all these little men and women inside, and they're trying to like keep things normal, and they're like, here they go with all the salts coming in, guys, we need to work harder, we got to get this sodium potassium pump. And if you eat things that are clogged, a lot of saturated fats, you're clogging your arteries, so now the blood has to pump harder. which is basically what blood pressure is, you know? So it's like when you think of it that way, you all of a sudden like kind of think, man, let me help my body out. Let me eat a little bit healthier because, you know, at least for long periods of time, like I was completely raw for 6 months, you know, and didn't it just was like part of the life. And then like that one little thing, I was like, oh, I want something soft, let me have some potatoes, blah blah blah. But then in 2 days since then, my feet are not swelling, I'm not experiencing the headache, my face is kind of, you know, thinned out just a little bit from where it was looking like a little bigger. And like it's just so funny. And after that, like, and for me it took a minute to get like all that like craving out of my system now, because now I've like your gut microbiome actually start craving whatever you're feeding it. So I just went back to eating, you know, my healthy foods, and by the third day I like at lunchtime I was like craving grapes and oranges and a smoothie, and like craving at dinner this mix up meal that I've been making. Like it's so good, it almost tastes like an Asian kind of vibe because I'm putting the ginger in it. And it's just really good. It's got like walnuts, mushrooms, celery, tomatoes. I've posted it on Facebook. I don't know if you're in the Facebook group, Vaughn, or in the Amazing Transformers like an email list, but I'll actually send it, or I'll send it to Dawn to send you if you want to try it. It's really good. Like, and you make a big pot of it, and it has like mung bean sprouts, and I even put sweet potatoes in it one night, which I got like the frozen diced ones, peas, corn, like it's, I mean, everything. It's like power pack. But really quick, because I know I only have a few more minutes here, I have to do my whole work newsletter. I had like a problem with my computer at work, and I was on with tech support for the longest time, and they need to send me like a new part. And so I'm going to do it on this computer and somehow transfer it to my laptop. And then also I am going to send out an email tonight to the Transformers. And I'm like, wow, it just got so late. This was supposed to happen at 4 o'clock. So what happened though during that time, like I was telling you, like I felt just a little bit different, like almost like more grounded. And I've heard people say that when they're on like a really high raw diet, they start out feeling, you know, like sometimes they might need to add some more fats. And I don't think I was having enough fats, because also my skin, or healthy fats like nuts and seeds, because during this time my skin felt really really soft, like way softer than normal. Not that my skin was dry, but like I could tell something was like different. And I just felt a little bit better in some ways during this whole time where my body was just like falling apart, right? So I was like, wow, let me take that part of what I was doing, like what was I doing? And the only thing was I was eating more calories, and I was eating more nuts, because I was eating like a lot of the nut butter, like peanut butter and jelly. And like every night I was hooked on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or peanut butter and just by itself, or, you know. So I think, and also their almond milk, I was drinking a lot of that in the mashed potatoes, or putting it in the mashed potatoes. So I'm like, maybe I need to add back in the nut milk and like walnuts. I've been putting walnuts in this meal that I'm making, like with steamed. Oh my gosh, it just add like a great flavor. And one day I let it sit like overnight, which I have it for leftovers now, and it tasted like, you know, when you go after you have Chinese food. I know I'm kind of weird, but sometimes before I even heat it up, I just want to eat it cold. And it like had that like really, it all got marinated in, you know, like sometimes I'm like, when I cook at night, it's already so late that I'm like, okay, I just want to eat it. I don't really have time to let it, you know, sit in the juices for that long. But the next day it was even good. So you could put like beans and stuff in it, but I just like using sprouts because I keep it like 90% like raw food. But that would probably be good in it too. Sometimes they don't quite agree with my like digestion though. I prefer like not to have them, or if I have them in sprouts, sometimes I eat them. But um, what else was I going to say? Oh, so in the healthy meal plan, I added flax seeds and walnuts, and now I've got everything is back to normal. no swelling. I'm feeling back to my normal energy level and clarity, and I have softer skin and feel a little more grounded. So I'm like, you know what? I just kind of take it as like sometimes in our mistakes we can learn something new, or you always have to kind of shift and pivot to perfect things. Even, when I thought, oh, I got everything just right with the other meal plan, now I'm like in a different level and understand my body. And I think also as we get older, we might, and maybe we go through different activity levels or different things we're getting. Sometimes we have to maybe add something or subtract something or whatever from our diet. And especially if you're experiencing, even if you're on a vegan diet and you're experiencing any swelling or aching and that you weren't experiencing years ago or something, you may need to eliminate something from your diet. Even if you eat a lot of the processed almond milks, that does have a lot of gums and things in them, and chemicals sometimes. So depending on what kind, try to find an organic one. I like Calafia Farms has an organic, and also that MALK Malk, their little spin on milk. I like that one because it's not as like creamy, but like all that extra stuff they put in makes it is what makes it creamy. But I'm looking to make my own one day. So they got this machine like almond cow you can get, or other ways people do it by just soaking the nuts. And it's not like you have to do that, because some people are like, well, if you don't eat dairy, why do you want? And like, but still, even people that may not like dairy might like a sweeter, creamier dessert. Like, it doesn't mean I didn't like how it made ice cream, right? Um, and so, yeah, and I'm just really looking forward to getting more into like the whole food, plant-based foods. Like, so if people do want that, that's why I try to share recipes. If you don't want to eat like that boring like me, just mixing up a bunch of vegetables and seasoning them and spicing them up, and fruits and dressings, you can have like food. Like, you can make really good, like, they have walnut meat that you can actually make, or you can take mushrooms. Like, I saw someone had lion's mane mushrooms and made them into a crab cake. There was like, burger people make burgers. Even raw food people have some recipes they come up with. So, but I just think it's awesome when you get yourself back in a zone of just really eating one food and really tasting it and enjoying it and not needing all those added things in. And you'll find that then you'll start craving that. And I know, everybody's on their own little journey. And I think I was saying something earlier when I thought about, it's hard to say, I'm going to work out for 60 minutes. But I was saying this to Dawn earlier. I said, what if I asked someone, could you work out for 1 minute a day? Or could you eat one meal that's healthy? And all you need to do is put 60 of those together. So, like, if you eat 3 meals a day, start with just one meal, just that next thing. And that gets you motivated. So maybe you don't want to go fully, like, you don't want to commit yourself. If you decide maybe on, Mondays, I'm going to eat fruit, for lunch, or fruit smoothie and greens for lunch, breakfast, and maybe I'm going to eat like a healthier salad for dinner, and also like this a plant-based meal, and just try some different things, and that'll start getting you in the zone to see, wow, you know what, I woke up Tuesday and I felt better. But you have to kind of put some days together of it to, I think, see the benefits. But it's definitely worth it. And then you start really getting into it and liking it and wanting to like make different combinations. So I think it's really cool. And if anybody's watching this afterwards, tell us how you're doing on your journey. Thank you so much, Vaughn. I appreciate you coming over here and supporting me. I didn't announce it like to my group or anything. I just wanted to hurry up and go on before I got started on this, because I had been planning on going on since like 4 o'clock, and I was like, oh, yes. She said, I have started to kick orphan beef from my diet and still eat it, baby. That's it. That's the way you got to do it. Just start eliminating certain things. And I would say, instead of thinking of it like eliminating, like, start adding in and trying recipes too. You might already be doing that, or trying different types of foods, because like when we eliminate something, we have to have something else to go to. So if we get excited about what we're eating, then we don't have to worry about what we're giving away or, giving up. Because I'm like, that first time I watched that video that was raw, it was called Raw, back when we were thinking about growing microgreens and sprouts. I was like really excited because I saw these people and they're healing and they were getting all excited about all these raw, fruits and vegetables. And I'm thinking, what if I had thought at that time, instead of like, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy all these fruits and vegetables. I'm going to try having this big salad. I'm going to get everything I can think of. I'm going to try this dressing and I'm going to do this for a couple of days and get blueberries and nuts for dessert. And I got all excited about what I was going to be trying. But if I had sat there for a little bit longer and thought about, oh my gosh, I have to give up ice cream and beef and chicken. And, at that time, before I'd even made the whole like connection with the animal thing, that would have been like, I might have just said, forget it. I'm not even doing this. But like, I had to get excited about what I was eating and to like ignore what I was like going to be eliminating. But I'm really proud of you for, making those changes, because pork and beef definitely, are like two of the biggest saturated fats. So you probably are feeling a lot better, just giving those up. So that is awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm excited. My little vegan excitement. But that is awesome. And the more you do that, like little things at a time, little things add up, like I was just talking about, like one little thing at a time. That is amazing. I'm probably going to wrap it up here shortly. Thank you so much for being so active in the chat. I love it. And I love you sharing that. And if you have any questions or anything, always reach out, to me. All my contact information is here, or ask Dawn and I can help you with whatever you'd like. And you're welcome. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I appreciate it. And I definitely appreciate everyone. Next time I'm going to try to start coming on, like, since I have some like guests lined up that I'll be having this week. I'll be announcing those, but like, so I'll probably be on live a little bit more. It's just been a little bit crazy stuff going on, but I will definitely be back in the routine. I think it's been like 2 weeks with all that, I forget what was happening, but every Monday it seemed like something else where I couldn't get on here. But I will be returning. I'm going to try to go on some evenings when I get off work, maybe at least 6 to 6:30. I'd like to do some of those open forums I was doing, and definitely maybe on Sundays and Mondays. So thank you all. Remember, stay motivated. It's Motivational Monday, and keep doing what you're doing, because every little thing you do counts. And just be kind to one another. And thank you, Vaughn, over there from ADT, for coming on. Appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone who's watching. And if anybody I missed, or I'm going to be gone by the time you get on the notification. But I knew I didn't have much time. So if I had sat there and planned the whole like sending an email out about it, but I just wanted to go ahead and get back in the groove and say hello and let you all know what's been going on with me, and tell you some foods to let your body rebalance its blood pressure and homeostasisness. I think that's a word, right, Vaughn? If not, we just made it up, or I made it up. Well, thank you. Thank you for being part of this amazing Plantsformations, and we'll have some great guests coming up soon. Thanks everyone for watching. This is when I get really rambly at the end, because I don't want to leave, but I have lots of stuff I got to get done. All right. Thank you all.